Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Steph here. So, quick lesson for entrepreneurs. Well, I'll get to the point. So the point of the lesson is that you got to take advantage of what's happening now, where the movement is, and don't look back. So you want to take advantage of emerging technologies, emerging trends. That's where your greatest probability of success is going to be. Don't make the mistake I made back in the 1990s when I had an ongoing business, but it was in an old industry. It was an industry that had plateaued years before. And in fact, it was destined to start really collapsing within a few years because of the rise of home computers and the internet. So the mistake I made is I had a business. It was growing. It was a small business, but it was growing. It was my first business. And this was the pet product, water purification, rare fish business, pet industry. And so this was going, and I learned web design. I learned how to write code in '94, and I built a website for that business. So I don't know how it happened, but through word of mouth, I got a contract with a legal firm. It was an easy gig, boom, boom, boom. And they said to me, listen, we deal with firms all over the world, so we can get you to build their websites, all these legal firms. So this was handed to me on a silver platter, a brand new business where I could have made a huge amount of money, especially in those days because there was nobody doing it at the time and websites were about to explode. But at that moment in time, as a young entrepreneur, I didn't have the understanding. I didn't understand this lesson I'm teaching you now. Cousin Steph back in the day didn't understand what Uncle Steph now understands, and you're going to understand. So what I did, I did that gig, made the money, but I figured I already have this business. I'm not going to leave that business and do that new business. I'm not going to leave my established business, which is growing, even though it's in an old industry. Whereas given this opportunity on a silver platter to do this new stuff, right? So I didn't do it. And it was a big mistake in retrospect because the old business, within a couple of years, I realized that that industry was going to go down hard. So I sold out of it for not much money. Who knows what would have happened if I would have went into this new business? Probably, though, high probability I would have been much more successful. I would have made much more money. So the lesson here, and what I did not understand at the time, is you have to jump on what is new. So I'm recording this in mid-August 2025. What's new today? AI development. So you better be, if you're into development in any way, you're looking to bring a product to market, you're looking to freelance, you can still make money with traditional code, but augment it with AI. I was talking to a guy who works for me, a software developer. He's a freelancer. And he was telling me now in terms of writing traditional code with the help of AI-assisted coding of traditional applications, traditional web apps with Node and React and Vue and PHP, Laravel, what have you, C#, Java. He was saying he was at least 3 times more productive, at least. So basically, he's able to produce 3 times more code, work 3 times faster because of AI. So that's huge. That's huge. I did that recently. I was talking about that recently where I had a problem, a server config problem, so I used AI. I was able to resolve something in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, which would have taken me an hour and a half without AI. And I know what I'm doing. Like a junior noob wouldn't have been able to do it. I was able to do it. Anyway, as an entrepreneur, you should be leveraging these tool sets. You're a fool if you don't. So the lesson of this video is embrace new technology. In August 2025, that new technology is AI. You should become very well versed in AI tool sets. Look at GPT can offer you, OpenAI, look at what Grok can offer you, what Gemini can offer you, etc. and so forth. Understand that landscape really well, because at the very least, it's going to open up a whole bunch of consulting opportunities for you. Without even talking about it, I've had a few companies approach me asking me about AI and AI implementations. Just as a consulting business, it could be very lucrative, right? if you are thinking of starting a business, I assume you're on this channel because you're interested in entrepreneurship, you have to look at AI as your vehicle. I think that the big companies are at far more risk in terms of AI than people are considering. Why? Because the big companies will no longer have the economies of scale as this crazy advantage. You can now, a small individual entrepreneur, you or maybe a few people with you, max, you could produce the output that would typically, prior to that, it might take a team of 10 times the size to do, which means you can deliver on product much more quickly without the infrastructure and the weighting down of having big bureaucracies to contend with. That's what big companies have to deal with all the time. So as an entrepreneur, familiar yourself with AI, number one, and look at opportunities where AI can solve those problems. Now, using AI to write traditional apps is step one. That's good. But I think the bigger opportunity, the more interesting opportunity, is to is to build AI-first web apps. I call it Model 2 applications. Forget web apps. AI-first apps or AI-first implementations. So I've been doing that now. I've been working on an AI-first application. So I've been training GPT for over 3 months now, not full-time. 20 minutes a day, sometimes half an hour, understanding what it can do, what it cannot do. I've been working with the 4 model. GPT-5 just came out, so I'm in GPT-5. It's better. It's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. And I'm going to be releasing this application very soon, where it's kind of like 97% AI engineering and 3% code engineering, if you will. So it's an AI tool set that does a bunch of stuff. I'll spare you the details now. I'm delivering it in a web app platform, not even my own. I'm not even doing my own. I'm actually just leveraging something I licensed because it has the tools I need. And yeah, we're going to see how that goes. What the crazy thing about this is like a hobby project. I did it because I wanted to understand this new paradigm of development, the AI first paradigm. And we're going to be able to take it to market very, very quickly, super cheaply. That's what entrepreneurs got to do. Entrepreneurs have to bring their product ideas to market as quickly and as cheaply as possible, because you want to find out whether or not it has any viability in the marketplace. So you don't want to spend a year or 6 months or 2 years and tons of money trying to get a product to market, because that's expensive, right? If you're going to do that, if you need to do that, then you need to raise capital and not take that risk yourself. You got to spread the risk, but you also spread the reward. Fortunately, because of AI and because I understand development very, very well, I'm able to structure complex implementations. Instead of writing out the complexities in code, though, and full stack frameworks, I'm doing it with GPT with the help of a prefab form. That's it. Anyway, there you go. I hope this lesson makes sense to you. You're a budding entrepreneur. Look to the new stuff. Don't look to the old. Yes, some people can make money at restaurants. Some people can make money developing old apps, but that's not where the low-hanging fruit is. Opportunities in the new stuff. Like, to make an extreme example, I would not try to get into business of creating an operating system, right? Well, I'm going to compete against Windows. I'm going to compete against Mac OS. I'm going to compete against iOS. I'm going to compete against Android. That'd be the stupidest move in the world, right? That's done. That's old. You got to go with the new.